Let's go ahead and bring in retired FBI agent Rob D'Amico. So, Rob, thanks for being with us. We don't yet know the relationship of the suspect to the victim, if any. What would you be looking for here to learn of a potential motive, and how important will it be to find the gun?
I think the biggest thing here now, you're going to start looking at records, school records. Was this person a professor of his? Somehow, where did that interaction come from? You're going to start looking at, obviously, you're going to do search warrants, get computers and phones, look up his searches that he's done on the internet, and trying to figure out motivation if he's not talking. Part of it will be just talking to him, talking to his friends, everyone around him, trying to see what was going through his mind when he did it. I think a couple of the things that are coming out now, I have two kids who went there, one's going to post-grad school, and another one works at the university. They're kind of upset that he was in custody at 2:30, which was about an hour and a half after they got notified, and all clear wasn't put out until about 4:15. And then the injury. There was no report of an injury for a long time. And we started suspecting, because I was on the news during this time, maybe there wasn't someone injured. And I think it was important to get that out. So I think the after action that the police are going to have to do is going to have to take a look at their actions too. It did end peacefully after that, but really what could they have done better, I think, is going to come in play.
And let's look at a timeline of the events here, along the lines of what you were saying. So the campus was alerted of an armed and dangerous person at 1:03 p.m. The suspect taken into custody at 2:31 p.m. The lockdown wasn't lifted, as you mentioned, for another 2 hours. We heard a woman saying that they squatted in bathroom stalls. You see video of these students here that are jumping out of windows. Obviously, the police department is going to look at how things went, but is this how things should go?
I always hate to be the critic after the fact, but you have to really do good after action reports, because if one of those students broke his leg or was killed falling out of the window and they already had him in custody, I think there's some issues there. And also police responding. Police were coming from all over going code 3, which is blue lights and sirens. If one of them got in an accident after the fact that he was captured, I think some of that goes back on the police department. One of the things that you can't really exercise in some of these tabletop exercise is dealing with the media. They teach it at the FBI National Academy because it's getting so important. When do you put out the suspect's photo? How do you inform them of injuries and things like that without giving too much away? They probably haven't had this incident, so I'm hoping they're going to learn from it and say, hey, maybe if we put out someone was injured and it wasn't just a gun going off, people would have known there was a violent encounter. And two, hey, we have someone in custody, but we still need to keep everyone down. We need to make sure it wasn't another person or we have the right one. I think that information would have helped.
You just mentioned your own personal connection to the school, and also as a law enforcement professional and with so much knowledge of how things work. What are in general your closing thoughts?
It's happening everywhere. I got a lot of, hey, we're not surprised by this anymore. Kids' attitudes about it. Back in the day, they flipped out. Now they're almost living with that. What do I do type of thing. But when it happens close to home, like I said, two kids up there. I have my Carolina blue button shirt on. I have my coffee mug here. It hits home. I knew right away my kids were safe and not on campus that day. But then I started tracking it, and they were sending me texts from their friends who were hauled up in bathrooms. Unfortunately, it's becoming more expected. But the one thing that comes with it, then kids are understanding how to react. I used to tell my kids when they were in middle school, don't go out the door, break the window, go out the window. You're on the first floor, because I knew that it's one of those things that are coming up now that's really unbelievable.